Hello everybody, my name is Telly Bomba from Ivory Coast, West Africa, and today I'll describe the concept behind dynamic processors and describe threshold, ratio, attack, and release. As we said, or as I stated in my previous video, we have different family of effects, and dynamic processors family, their role is to control the dynamic range. They help us control and manipulate, the dynamic range. And dynamic range are related to amplitude, and the dynamic range is the difference between the loudest, level, so like the distortion, and the lowest level that we sometimes call name the noise. Um, and yeah, I'll show you. Usually, all the dynamic processors we have in that family, the compressors, the limiter, which is a high ratio compressor, gate, expanders, and yeah, we use those, to treat up our sound and get the best out of them. The compressor usually you reduce is used to reduce the dynamic range. The gate will help you, get rid of unwanted noise, while the expander will actually help you, expand the dynamic range. We use the same kind of I'll say it, element. So we use, if you use the compressor, if you use the gate, if you use the expander, you have those elements, which are the threshold, the ratio, the gain, the attack, the release, and the type. The type usually occur on different software. It's also called the knee. We have, a soft one, a hard knee, and I'll help you, explain all those later. The threshold, so when you have a threshold at 0 dB, basically nothing will happen. The threshold is the point at which you want your compressor to start kicking in. So you set, your threshold at, for example, minus 13 dB or minus 9, and basically when the sound gets over, this threshold, or under this threshold, when you're dealing with a gate, for example, the compressor or your expander or your gate will start kicking in. You have the ratio, which is the other important part in the compressor, that actually tell you how much compression you want to apply to your track. And this work with the gate too. How much, gate, how do you want it to close, or how much you want it to close. And the ratio is input out of output. So a 2-to-1 ratio, that can be like that. Is for every sound that go over the threshold by 2, the output will be half of that. Then you have the attack and the release. The attack is how fast the compressor kicks in, and the release is how fast, after the sound came under the threshold, the compressor, stops, working. Now we have the knee. So imagine, a knee, and the soft. When you have a soft knee, that's basically the compressor, takes a little time, to kick in. So it's more natural. It doesn't, cut the sound right away, as if you had, a hard knee. And the reason we have a gain, it's simply because how the compressor will, when you use it, reduce a little bit the volume of the track that you use your compressor on. So the output gain helps you, get your sound back to the same level. So when you make your compressor, when you actually use a compressor, you have to bypass it and kind of, trying to get that same level of sound that you have before you use your compressor. So yeah, so I basically gave you some of those how those elements work with the compressor, but they're basically the same element that you will use with the gate, with the expander, just depending on how you want it to work. You're playing into it, basically. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time.